The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12 covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome in. It is a Tuesday for the Bostonian versus the Book here live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book and on Twitter X. He is Dave Sharapan. I am Matt Perrault. We'll talk to Demetri from Barrett Sports Media coming up here in a couple of moments about what's going on with the college football playoff and the future of that. The Big Ten and the SEC might be taking it, well, kind of like hostage and not giving it back to anybody else. We'll get to the future of that. We are replayed on Sports Grid TV and on Sirius XM channel 159 each and every night. You night owls, thank you for watching. Dave, got a lot to get to today. Some big news first thing in the morning. How are you?
Good. I'm just going to preface the whole thing with I could care less about Robert Saleh getting fired. Just going to let everybody know right off the bat. I like to talk about the games. I know
it doesn't. Wait, this absolutely impacts the games. 100%. This impacts the AFC East market. It impacts the AFC market. This impacts the Super Bowl market. This impacts this coming weekend. With the Bills and the Jets. All those things are impacted. I just agree with you entirely. It completely impacts a ton of betting markets. This is a major moment in the NFL season to have this happen.
I can tell you from being in the business for 30 years, there's not a person betting that today.
Betting what? Betting against them on Monday? I bet people betting on them. I bet they bet on them for Monday because you get the dead cat bounce. You get a dead cat bounce coming in with a team having to rally after the coach gets iced.
Okay.
Bet it on. I mean, I think numbers are going to move off of it, but I think people are absolutely going to be more interested. I don't think that they do. I think people are going to bet it, though, for or against off this news.
Okay.
I think you undersell this. I think you undersell the idea of what
I think you
the New York
and the rest of the media oversell it. Sir.
Okay. I think you underappreciate what this does in the overall landscape of sports. What this does to the average gambler, the average person that's sitting at a bar that's going to make a bet, looking either on or off the Jets. The people that bet, how many people this year bet the Super Bowl for the Jets to win the AFC? Coach of the Year, Robert Saleh, MVP for Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of bets just went down the drain.
Because the coach got fired?
Yes. Well, you can't be coach of the year when you get fired. Rodgers is not going to be the MVP. You got his coach fired. All those markets
Jets could win their next 10 games. Wouldn't matter, would it?
If they win the next 10 games.
Yeah.
You think the Jets are going to win the next 10 games?
I didn't say that. You said that.
What? You said that.
I didn't say they were going to win their next 10 games. I said that's what would impact the betting market. Who's coaching them?
That can't happen.
Nobody's changing a thing.
That can't happen.
Betting today because Robert Saleh got fired. Nothing.
I disagree with that entirely. I think that there is a dramatic influence on what happens in the future of this season in the NFL with Robert Saleh being iced today in the way he was fired, who they're putting in charge.
It's him getting fired, but as far as that impacting betting markets, it doesn't impact anything.
All the markets are gone. You lost. If you bet the Jets to win the AFC East, you're dead. It's done. If you bet the Jets to win
the new coach can't come in and do a better job?
They're 2-3, and Aaron Rodgers is driving the bus. This is going to go off a cliff. This is not a good thing for a football team. There's never been an interim coach ever to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if there's been an interim coach ever to make the NFC or AFC championship game. Interim coaches can make the playoffs. The Raiders did it most recently, but it's really rare to ever have an interim coach come in and take over, and you're the better for it, especially this early in the year. Week 5?
That's why it's even more of a possibility because it's earlier in the year, no?
I mean, that's why
somebody comes in and the players love him and everything turns around and Aaron's able to stay healthy. They can fix everything and make the playoffs. No, the AFC East is a lot of crap. right now. No?
I mean, my question would be, how do we know the team likes the defensive coordinator? I mean,
How do we know?
the whole
I don't
coaching
know.
staff was unaware of this. I mean, Saleh showed up on Tuesday, business as usual, and ownership fired him. Like, Woody Johnson just decided, you know what? He came back from London, and I think there's something to it that Woody Johnson got embarrassed over there, that he's a former ambassador to England. Him and all of his boys were over there. He sat there and watched the team, and Rodgers played like crap. The team didn't play well at all, and Woody Johnson got pissed off and fired the guy without talking to anybody. Like,
I mean, there's a great speculations. I like to speak in facts more than anything, and like I think the betting market speaks in facts.
Well, the facts of the matter is that the head coach was escorted out of his job today. Like, he walked into work and team security let him out. Like, he didn't get a chance to talk to the team. He didn't get a chance to just, say goodbye. Team security showed up and said, "Get your shit and get out."
Yeah.
Like, that's functional? That's a functional organization?
Have you ever been somewhere where that's happened to somebody?
In team sports? Never seen that in team sports. No.
I mean, have you ever worked a job where they've walked the person out, fired them just like that?
It's apples to oranges. Having a business.
Have you worked at a job?
Yes, of course.
Okay, just answer the question. I'm
it's
not
not
trying
the
to be
same
hard.
thing.
So you get escorted out of a job when you get fired. It happens all the time.
Normally it happens when they think there's going to be a problem. Normally I've seen it happen when they think someone's going to throw a fit and start breaking things. I don't know if Robert Saleh is that guy.
I've seen it happen multiple times, and I don't know if that's the reason why, because they thought there was going to be a problem. That's just the way they do it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that happens in walks of life that you would probably be.
Would the Steelers ever do that?
I'm not saying the Steelers would ever do that.
They would never do that. A functional organization would never do that. Would never. One, you don't fire a guy after week 5. That's moronic. Number 2, you don't tell him, get out, and here's team security. We're walking you to your car. You're the head coach. You have to have a little bit of decorum to say, you know what? Let the guy go and address the team. Let the guy have a conversation. He didn't do anything wrong. This is the type of thing you do when someone does something inappropriate. You walk somebody out. You walk somebody out when you do it when they're actually like a problem. Robert Saleh is not a problem. Fire him on Monday then. Why did he work on Monday? He went to work Monday. Nothing. Shows up Tuesday, gets fired on Tuesday morning?
Yeah.
Right. Sure. This is the Jets. They are an absolute dumpster fire on every single, and they still may go and trade for, I hope they get Devontae Adams now. Now I want Devontae Adams to go there. Like, go get him. Like, absolutely go get Devontae Adams and put him on this roster to see what this does. Because just go ahead and retread it and go have Nathaniel Hackett be there, and he keeps his job. Hackett keeps his job, but Saleh gets fired? How is that? I thought Moose said it perfectly today. Moose was dead right on that today, talking about how the hell does Nathaniel Hackett keep his job, and they go ahead and fire Robert Saleh because it's his fault, because the numbers would tell you it's not his fault. He couldn't get the quarterback, right? He couldn't win games, but the numbers for Robert Saleh, first in points per drive, first in EPA per play, third in success rate, despite playing the 4th most snaps over that entire stretch. His defense was good. This guy can coach defense. Can't coach offense all that well, but he wanted to get rid of Nathaniel Hackett, and the owner wouldn't let him. The owner said, no, we're not going to let you get rid of it because our baby likes him. So Aaron Rodgers gets his way at every single turn with this.
Listen, what's that old saying? You got to back the right horse. That's his guy. That's Rodgers' guy. So, I mean, again, I'm not talking about other people and their jobs. I mean, you see what happens when people do that. They get called out by the players. I have no idea what's going on in that office. I just know
they don't either.
It wouldn't affect anything. Let me just click the line this week. I don't even think it affected the line this week when the coach gets fired, and it doesn't affect the betting. Is the line changed? Let's see. I don't think so. I don't even know who they playing this week. Buffalo.
Bills, Monday night.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Have fun with that. Bills are in desperate need of a W, and you're going right into a Lions situation with that. Look, the Jets might rally. I mean, I don't know if I'd play that game. The Jets might be able, because that happens a lot. We've seen dead cat bounces and other things. It doesn't happen all that often in football because it's different. You get the lead up. It's not like in hockey, it's the next game. In baseball, it's the next game. Football, there's more of a lead up. There's more of a longer stretch to get to that game on Monday night. But I'll be curious to see how the Jets perform. And I'll be curious to see how Rodgers performs, to be quite honest. I mean, they've got talent. The problem's the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is the problem. If he does end up going on Pat tomorrow, that's going to be wild to see how he answers those questions. And could it put Pat in kind of a tough spot? Because the question you have to ask is, Aaron, why aren't you playing well? And that's a hard thing to ask Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to handle that question very well. He's going to push back hard.
I don't know. I think him and Pat have a pretty good relationship. But you could ask him. I don't know if he'll answer the question, but
right.
I don't think there's anything that at this point Pat wouldn't ask him worried about the answer, because Aaron's not worried about the answer. It's an awkward thing, man. It's an awkward thing. I heard Shannon Sharp a little bit earlier talking about it, and also heard who's the guy that coached for the Colts Saturday, Jeff Saturday, talking about it. It's on the players. Like it's on the players. The coach gets fired, you can only fire one guy.
Right.
So it happens all the time in that regard. As far as
is it players or player? Which is it players plural or is it player?
Well, I mean, in this situation, I don't know if it's plural or not, but obviously it wasn't working. And if they win on Monday night, they're in first place in the AFC East. So the season is far from lost.
That's why, well, that's the room. That's why what he announced it. I don't see teams firing coaches before their sixth game, turning things around and obviously playing the way that you want that to go.
The Edmonton Oilers fired their coach 7 games into the season last year. One went to the Stanley Cup final. I mean, you got to make a change when it's time to make a change.
Totally different sport.
Okay. It's the same. I mean, but
your DC
early in the season.
Your DC is now your head coach. Your defense is not the problem. Your offense is the problem. Jets don't have a defensive problem. Jets have an offensive problem. They have a quarterback problem, really, but they have an offensive problem. I mean, they've got all the talent in the world on defense that you'd want. I mean, it's, the Hassan Reddick situation has been sort of brushed under the rug, but they're still really good even without Hassan Reddick. I mean, they played well enough to win that game this past weekend. Rodgers threw 3 picks.
Yep.
I mean, that's not on the defense. That's on Rodgers. Not turn the ball over.
So as big of a story as this is, not one line moved except the circle was at 2.5 or at 3 and went to 2.5.
Okay.
Because somebody took the Jets.
Right. I bet
they just moved it. Or they just moved it because they wanted to be in line with the rest of the books in the world where nobody took a bet. I don't know. It's ho-hum. I think it's overstated by the media. It's fine. I mean, we're talking about it and people will watch it and talk about it and all this other stuff. The mainstream media is going to bury this for all day. That's fine. I mean, there's bigger stories, in my opinion, as far as the betting market. I'm good with talking about it, but I can't make judgments on it because I don't know anything about it. You can have an opinion, but what's your opinion worth? I don't know. I don't know what mine's worth. I watch it and go, wow. My phone was lighting up this morning. You see Saleh got fired. Yeah. Okay. People were happy that their first coach to get fired market ticket cashed.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. There you go.
But that's also, I think, if you look at the other markets, AFC East, Coach of the Year, MVP, all those markets are impacted by this. All of them. Can't be Coach of the Year. Rodgers ain't being MVP. AFC Championship. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, I believe it when I see it. I don't know. I haven't looked at the market yet as to where they are, but I'll be surprised if the Jets are the same to win the AFC today that they were yesterday. Yeah, I'd be very surprised to me. And there were long shots anyway to going into it after what happened last week. There were long shots.
Well, yesterday I said that the Jets would make the playoffs. Now they might make the playoffs.
No, I think this is going to be in New York. This is not just blood in the water. This is somebody dumping, buckets and barrels of blood in the water at the moment. They're going to come for, I mean, I've already seen it. Some of the things are already being speculated as to like phone calls that happened last night with an unnamed Jet player that was on there. They're speculating that Saleh got fired for political reasons because he wore a flag on his shirt. He wore a flag on his left-hand side.
Can't be true.
I sure as hell hope not. That if that ever comes out, the Jets get sued so heavily and so fast. If that happens, no, I don't think that's true. But those are the things that are trending on social media right now as to why Saleh got fired. Now Woody's pissed off because he was over there and got embarrassed.
Listen, they're the second choice to win a division. They're plus 350 to win a division. And it's Buffalo because Buffalo's minus 220 because they play in this crap AFC East. But the Patriots not likely to win more than 2 more games.
Correct. But
and
the Patriots and the Dolphins
are hurt quarterback. That's what I mean.
It's not like I'm saying, it's not saying a lot. The Jets are the second option and they're $5, cheaper or $5, dogs to the Bills, and they're above the Patriots and the Dolphins. I mean, the Browns would probably be above the Patriots and the Dolphins if they played in the AFC East.
So why can't they make the playoffs? That's what I'm saying. I said it yesterday.
As what? As a wild card?
Playoffs. They can make the playoffs.
As a wild card? No, not as a wild card. No. The wild cards are going to all of them might come out of the North. I mean, was the Steelers and the Ravens
are to miss the playoffs minus 140. It's a pick 'em.
What do they make the playoffs?
Well, the way they write these bets to make the playoffs, so if they're minus 140, they're plus 110 or 120, depending. Let me see. Pull up the
so it's still a dog to miss the playoffs.
It's
favorite.
Yeah.
They're still a favorite to make. They're a favorite
plus to 110. They're a favorite to miss the playoffs, minus 140. Yeah, but they can. Who knows? That's what I mean. I said it yesterday. They would make the playoffs. I would have to say right now, today, maybe this will help them make the playoffs. All they got to do is beat Buffalo on Monday. They're in first place in the division. They could win a division going.
Well, that's the only way they're making it.
9-8.
That's the only way. That means the Bills completely fall apart, and I mean like completely fall apart. For them to miss a 9-8 wild card. I don't think the 9-8 wild card gets you there because I think there's teams in the Central that are going to be better. I think both the Ravens and the Steelers are going to make the playoffs. So then, do the Bengals recover? We'll see. Chiefs are in. And I think we have to at least acknowledge the fact there could be a team in the West that makes it. It's not impossible. Winner of the South.
You said I was crazy.
What?
Denver could make I said that yesterday. You said I was crazy. Denver could make the playoffs with that schedule.
I think the Chargers are the team I'm talking about, not Denver.
Oh, well, either way, that's a team in the West.
Yeah. So there's a chance for that. And then you have obviously the winner of the South. And then let's see what happens out of the South. Let's see if Joe Flacco keeps going. I mean,
I don't know if the Steelers make the playoffs.
Oh, I think the Steelers are going to be the playoffs. I think your defense is good enough with the.
Oh, you froze. Hold on. There's a long freeze. Uh-oh. Hold on. Snap it.
We should be back.
Oh, I was long. Oh, you're back. Okay.
With the mediocrity of the AFC, Steelers can make the playoffs.
Oh, they could. I don't know if they're a lock to make the playoffs.
I think them and the Ravens
into that schedule may be 6 losses. I mean, I don't know. But all right. Well, I mean, ask the chat, give them a poll to vote on. Did the Jets make the playoffs? Yes or no?
Ooh,
be curious. I don't think it's as automatic as you saying it's automatic that they're not going to make the playoffs. I said it yesterday, but I said it based on the situation staying the same. Maybe Woody watches the show and said, geez, these guys said they're not going to make the playoffs. If something doesn't change, I better go talk to some people.
I don't know if he talked to anybody. I think he woke up this morning.
You don't think he talked to anybody? You think he just woke up and said, I'm firing the coach today?
Yep. I think
you don't really mean that, do you? The owner of the team just decided today to go get security. I'm firing the guy. I ain't telling nobody. He didn't talk to anybody.
This is the New York Jets.
Come on.
This is New York Jets. Yeah, I don't believe there was a conversation made with anybody. Nobody knew.
Nobody.
Maybe he told Douglas. Maybe he told the GM. But, I mean, it's like one phone call and said, I'm making the change. I don't think he consulted with the team. I don't think because you don't do – this is the first time the Jets have done this since the 70s. Firing a coach in the middle of the year. because you're trying to save the season, but you're not bringing anybody else from the outside. You're elevating the defensive coordinator.
Doesn't that make it better?
Why?
You want to bring in somebody from outside into this mess?
If you're going to change everything, you just talked about the Oilers. The Oilers didn't elevate somebody from the inside. The Oilers went and got somebody from the outside and put him in. That's why they rebounded.
He was the minor league coach.
He was from the outside. He wasn't on the coaching staff. So
he was the minor.
He was not on the staff.
In the organization.
Yeah, but he's outside. That's why it says apples to oranges. But it wasn't somebody on the staff they elevated. It wasn't like the guy who did the power play was elevated to the head coach. They went outside the organization.
They
outside
do that all the time too.
They went outside. So
yeah.
I would bring somebody
not
from
outside, Matt. When it's in the same organization, it's not in the same room.
You're not in the locker room. You're not in the dressing room. That guy's not in the dressing room. He's not on the trip. He's not traveling.
Half the guys on the team played for him.
Okay. It's apples to oranges. I get it. But my point is it bringing somebody from the outside in? I feel better about it than elevating somebody who was part of the problem. The DC is part of the problem. The OC is part of the problem. The whole organization is being run by one guy. Your quarterback is telling everybody what to do. So until that happens, until that changes, Jets aren't going anywhere. Like Jets aren't until Aaron Rodgers answers to somebody. Remember, Aaron Rodgers, you talked about what Shannon Sharp said today, and I totally agree with him. Aaron Rodgers didn't show up to mandatory minicamp. He went to some retreat instead. He had a chance to go to mandatory, not optional, mandatory minicamp and told Robert Saleh, I'm good. Thank you very much. Goodbye. So, and that from that get-go shows the power structure of the Jets. It's all Aaron Rodgers. And until that changes, I'm good with the Jets missing the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, again, we'll see. I don't know. Did the poll come up? I didn't see the poll.
Sorry, just put it up.
Will the Jets make the playoffs? All right. If you're watching the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the show. Appreciate the comments before the show started. I don't know how to do it. If you guys want to help, that's great. Email the show, thebvbshow.com. But come with a plan. Don't just say, hey, you guys should do more shows. Hey, you guys should get a store. Hey, you guys should this, you guys should that. Come with a plan. I'm open to helping and doing anything I can. And, we're talking to people all this week. There's a lot of people. I was out late last night talking to people about the future of this show, the future of the business. And sorry, Will, there's a lot of people full of shit. And just want to let them all know we're here. We have people on the show all the time. I thought the shows were great. I think the show's great every day, but I biased. So, and look, we got Demetri here.
Let's get to a guy.
Dave, have you guys considered making more money with the show, or maybe
really trying to do that too, Demetri? It's really hard.
Yeah,
I didn't tell you about this media business where
listen, I'm in the
Bob, Dick, and Harry can get a microphone, but you can't. How can you keep making money? Make any money,
dude? I tell everybody all the time, the days of getting rich are certainly over. If you can make enough to make this the only thing you do, man, you've won. Like
I have 3 jobs. Dave has 5 jobs.
Yeah, I mean, 8 jobs.
Yeah, no, it ain't happening. You are doing one job these days. Demetri Ravanos from Barrett Sports Media joining us here on BVB. Look, thanks for coming on. Yeah. I think we got a lot to talk about because you wrote a great article today on Barrett Sports Media about the future of the college football playoffs and how the Big Ten and the SEC might be trying to steal this thing for themselves and how ESPN needs to step in line with it. But you're a media guy, okay? So the Aaron Rodgers story tends to suck the oxygen out of everything that goes on with the media. But what do you take on this in terms of, do we make too big of a deal of a story when a coach gets fired?
No, I mean, the Jets one is weird, right? Because I heard you say before you brought me on, like, you bring in somebody from the outside, but, if you're not changing the quarterback, the problem is the problem. I mean, look, I am a Panthers fan, and I think we are treated appropriately by the media. Like, we are treated like the garbage franchise we are. I don't understand why the Jets don't get the same treatment. Tell me, like, the problem with the Jets is
New York
owner, the GM, the quarterback, the coach, the fans. Like, seriously, if you're not changing at all, who cares who you bring in? Like, they're going to finish what? What's the top line for the Jets? 6-11? Like, that's
I don't know. I mean,
that's Jets football, baby.
I would like to think that's the case, but you never know how these things turn out. I just know it doesn't, as far as the betting stuff, which, we kind of focus on the sports world through the betting lens. I don't think it has as much impact. I like that the media likes to blow this up. Carolina has been the pick against for survivor pools Like with Demetri. I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but everybody, the first thing they do is go, all right, who am I picking this week? Who's Carolina playing? It's a two-part question. Is there any hope of a turnaround there?
Listen, I host a podcast with my friend Lauren Brownlow about the Panthers. It is called This Team is Killing Us. And
That's a great name.
Yeah, thank you. I was brought on as a guest to a Bears podcast to preview the game this week. And I sort of described for them, like, what is tough about being a fan of this franchise right now is exactly what you just said, Dave. Like, we were playing 2 weeks ago. We were playing a winless team in the Cincinnati Bengals. Went down by 7. And the consensus on Panthers Twitter was, well, at least we got a win. We had a good run. It was fine. I mean, look, you see my hat, right? Like I'm a Bama guy first.
We'll get to that.
There's my degree from the University of Alabama. Like,
yes, sir.
I am a fan of this team for Bryce Young. In fact, I have this hat that I wear
sweet
for Panthers games. So my heart is protected, right? If Bryce is on the bench, I can take whatever the hell happens. But I did tell my wife, like, it is really miserable to have to watch this team every Sunday because they are beyond hopeless.
Unbelievable. All right, you're a Bama fan, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Alabama just lost to Vanderbilt.
I don't recall.
Dude, Vanderbilt? Like what? Like, come on, bro.
So I made this point today with some folks on the phone at Barrett Sports Media. I was in school for some lean years at the University of
covered
Alabama.
them. I was there. You were in school and I was covering them. Yes.
Yeah, we lost to Louisiana Monroe.
Yes,
I'm sorry, no. Louisiana Monroe. I was gone by the time we lost to Louisiana Monroe. We lost to Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
We lost to Southern Miss. We lost to UCLA twice.
Wow.
We lost to Arkansas regularly.
Oklahoma.
Yes. Yeah, but Oklahoma was a national champion at that point. My point is, no matter how bad the teams we lost to were, you could lay your head on the pillow at night knowing there's no way we're going to lose to Vanderbilt. Like, this is true. Before Saturday, since 1957, and remember, for a time, those two teams were playing every year during that stretch. Since 1957, before Saturday, that game had ended in a tie more often than it ended in a Vanderbilt victory.
How many times did Vandy win before this past Saturday?
Two, right?
Since 1957, it was just twice. Yeah,
2 times. 2 times 1957.
It's unfathomable, although I will say this. I am not. Now, granted, people think we are a football school. We are a fashion school first and foremost. I don't want to jump off a bridge over our coach wearing a T-shirt in that loss. Although I apparently, if you look at Twitter, am the only Bama fan that does not care what the coach is wearing on the sideline. Like, I think after 17 years of Nick Saban,
right,
there's a whole new generation of fans now. Those people don't know what it's like when the bottom falls out at Alabama. And I don't think we're anywhere near the bottom falling out, but that tells you just how pampered being a Bama fan has been for the better part of the last 2 decades.
Demetri, I said it with Patriot fans. I mean, this Patriot fans old enough to drink don't remember what it was like to watch the Patriots be the bottom feeder of the league. And they're freaking out every week going, how do you lose 15-10 to the Dolphins? How do you look this bad? Fire the whole coaching staff. They don't know what they're doing. Everyone's a mess. And I've seen it with Bama fans. Like, Kalen DeBoer comes in and they're like, here we go again. We lose to Vanderbilt. We beat Georgia and the guy can't keep his team motivated, can't focus on it. I mean, it's already doomsday in Alabama world, is it not?
I mean, there are valid criticisms in there. Kane Womack, who I really liked as a defensive coordinator hire, like, the defense just looks sloppy, right? That loss to Vanderbilt reminded me of the 2010 loss to South Carolina, where it was not fluky. That team kicked our ass from the get-go. And there's no reason that should happen. Now, I will say this. I make videos and do some graphics and stuff for a site called SEC Unfiltered. And at the beginning of the year, all of our guys that are like our film guys and breaking stuff down were listing, like, rank every quarterback in the SEC, and they were all putting Diego Pavia 16. And I was calling every single one of them, ball knowing motherfuckers. Like, he is way better than that. He is way better than that. Tell me you don't watch New Mexico State Aggie football without telling me you don't watch New Mexico State Aggie football. I mean, I knew that this kid was capable of pulling off magic. I did not think it would be at the expense of my team.
Oh my gosh.
Different story when it's yours.
That's right.
We had a debate about the loss and how it was worse. I said it was worse for Alabama to lose to Vanderbilt than Notre Dame to lose to Northern Illinois. As far as impacting what is coming, because Notre Dame has a couple games where maybe they get caught, but if you look at the playoff, which you kind of did in your article, and we'll get to that in a second, Alabama can recover from this by winning almost every game they have left. Their schedule's a little more difficult than, say, Notre Dame's. Is the SEC measured differently? Do they get more of a pass in the playoff and things? Because from a Big Ten guy and from somebody outside standpoint, odds maker in Vegas, it always feels like we give the SEC a pass in these situations.
So let me hit both of those things real quick, Dave. Yes, this is much worse, not only than Notre Dame losing to Illinois. This is worse than Nick Saban losing to Louisiana Monroe. This is by the blue star, what is it called? The blue chip ratio that Bud Elliott at CBS has. Alabama 2024 is the most talented team in college football history in terms of their recruiting rankings.
Wow.
Nick Saban in 2007 did not inherit what Kalen DeBoer has inherited in 2024. If you lined up Alabama and Notre Dame on a field right now, Dave, I would not bat an eye at Bama being a 20-point favorite in that game.
Right.
That would not be a
17
problem.
minimum.
Yeah.
17.
So that's why it's so much worse.
I know, but flip it around though, Demetri. I mean, how many 4 stars and 3 stars are on Vandy versus who's on Northern Illinois?
That's a good question. I mean,
I mean, look, come on now. This is you just talked about the quarterback and how many the balls of the quarterback for Vandy. I mean, the balls of the quarterback for Vandy are pretty big.
I will tell you, there is one. Like, I know for a fact, one 4-star quarterback at Vanderbilt, he's lining up at tight end now. That is
true.
That's the reality.
Yep.
I think that, Dave, to your other question, does the SEC get a pass? Yeah, but I mean, the path is the path. And for the better part of 2 decades, the SEC has proved it over and over again. I have been saying that this year, if the SEC got 5 teams into the playoff.
Oh, don't say that.
No, listen to me. I think that's justifiable because of the drop off from 3 to 4 in the Big Ten. If they were to get 6 in the playoffs, meaning just about every at-large spot except for the one that would go to either Ohio State or Oregon, that is when you start to go, okay, are we even looking at what these teams are doing? Now, keep in mind, all that is hypothetical. I think we saw this weekend, Missouri is not that good. Ole Miss, I think, is better than they showed against Kentucky, but I don't trust Lane Kiffin to stay focused through a 12-game regular season. So I think if you told me 5 SEC teams made it, I could tell you I could see how we got there. I don't believe that is what is going to happen.
Well, why I wanted to bring you on is because you wrote an article today on Barrett Sports Media that is really interesting about where we are, what the future of college football could be. The Big Ten and the SEC appear to be joining forces and saying, okay, we're the 2 main conferences that's driving everything. Big 12, ACC, and the rest of you, we don't really need you. If we have a chance to break away, we will. You say it's up to ESPN to save this from happening. Why?
Because ESPN owns the bulk of the college football playoff. They own all of the SEC's inventory. I would love, in a perfect world, ESPN and Fox would work together to save what we know as college football. But Fox has a business interest, right? If the SEC and Big Ten break away from the rest of the college football playoff, it is just good business for Fox to let them know that that postseason has a home on television. Whether we go through the courts, whether it is ESPN dangling a little bit more money in front of the SEC, Look, Fox is invested in the Big Ten, and they have a what is it? They have a sprinkle on the Big 12. ESPN is involved in everything. Big 12, ACC, SEC, even at the G5 level. They are so heavily invested in college sports in general that if they were to let what is the second most watched sport in America fracture in a way that those of us that would, if our wives said, hey, you get 1 day a week, we would leap at Saturday without thinking twice about it. They risk alienating us and thus tanking the value of their investment.
I read the article too. You did a good job with it. It was really, really interesting. It was thought-provoking. And you also were saying in some parts of it that we need to evolve from, isn't college football like, what about people that still want to hold on to what the Rose Bowl was and all of these things? It's tradition.
Sure.
It reminds us of when we went to school every Saturday, and you see these. Is it ever going to be that? It's never going to be that way again.
No.
Are you hopeful for someone being able to maintain that touch of what it was while this evolution continues?
Well, look, I mean, I am always going to pound the drum for the SEC doing its best to keep its traditions alive. It is the only conference where the entire geographic footprint still touches. Now, that being said, it is very different when the footprint stretches from South Carolina over to Texas versus when it was Louisiana to Florida, right? Those are two very different realities. I think that there are areas where evolution is really good. To me, the playoff is a no-brainer. Like I grew up so many years having to wait till the next morning to figure out who won the national championship. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But the fact that we've gotten to a point where Oklahoma doesn't bat an eye that Bedlam is just over, that Washington State has to beg Washington to sign a deal to keep the Apple Cup going. Like, that's insane. I know you said you're a Big Ten guy. I mean, the fact that Rutgers and Oregon are going to play a conference game
makes no sense.
Is nuts. And it doesn't make sense if you go down a level, right? If you go down to the G5 level. So I pointed out my Alabama degree. There is also my Florida international degree.
Oh, FIU. They played tonight.
FIU. Yeah.
They played tonight.
You have 2 degrees?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One because my
guy
parents made me go to
yesterday-
college, and one when I decided maybe I should actually try to do something with my
Well,
life.
that's good, because yesterday we had a guy on. He went to MIT, just dropped it, mentioned it, and then he, I did this, I did that. So, okay, continue, sir.
I mean, look,
2-degree
not all
guys
of us-
are big.
Not everybody can get into elite academic institutions like Florida International and the University of Alabama. Some people have to safety school it at MIT. No, look, FIU is in a conference with UTEP.
Right.
Like,
well, UTEP's
What?
leaving.
Well, yeah,
UTEP's leaving.
But here's the
They're
thing.
going to the Mountain West.
UTEP is going to the Mountain West in part because that is a huge sigh of financial relief. UTEP can't afford to regularly send teams that are not the football team to Miami, to wherever in Virginia Liberty is. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I know.
It's in the western part of the state. I forget exactly where. I live there. I should know that, but
I just assume it's some sort of compound surrounded by men with long beards and guns.
Yes. Yes. It's in Lynchburg, Virginia. There it is.
Yeah. It just, I think that the tradition that I think we can abandon is the stuff that's like, oh, well, we've always done it this way and no one can tell us why. It's because I'm an SEC guy. I'm sure if I grew up where you grew up, Dave, I would be very romantic about the Rose Bowl. To me, like, dude, just kick it off at a time that works for TV. I don't give a crap about the sunset. I'm on my couch.
SEC. There's the SEC fan coming through.
I mean, but like, there's things like the backyard brawl, Pitt and West Virginia.
Sure, like,
I want to maintain that because that's the geographical thing that people have been fighting about for 50 years.
When you talk about things,
and it goes away, just poof.
Yeah, when you talk about things like traditions that genuinely bring people to the sport, those are worth protecting. The stuff that is just like, hey, the right corporation invested in this long ago.
Yeah, I'm not.
That we can reevaluate.
Right. Okay.
So what do you make of the 16-team 32 team, like where does the expansion stop? If it's all about money, right?
Yeah.
It's all about dollars and everyone's about making as much money as possible. And the fact that these major platforms own the college football playoff, and you have two, Fox and ESPN,
right,
where they know this January, the ratings are going to be ridiculous. The handle is going to be ridiculous. Everyone's going to be jumping up and down because we have a playoff game on a college campus for the first time ever. Then we have neutral site games leading up to a national championship game. When does it stop? Like, what number is enough? Because they already want to expand the basketball tournament. They want to do that for 120 some odd teams.
Yeah.
Will they stop at 12, 16? Where are they going to stop?
Well, obviously they're not stopping at 12. I mean, part of this fight for the SEC and the Big Ten demanding they get 4 automatic bids is with the understanding that the playoff expands to 14 or 16. I think 12 is a perfect number because think about it. You have 3 different levels. You have the top 4 teams that are playing for a bye. You have the next 4 that are playing for a home game and the next 4 that are playing just to get in. I think that works really well. The other thing that I think this is where I sort of have to let people know where I'm coming from here. I am vehemently pro player in terms of compensation, transfer, all that kind of stuff. I don't think that you can ask a player to play what would be an NFL schedule for not an NFL paycheck. And at 12 games in the regular season, your conference championship game, and then if you go through the entirety of the college football playoff, brother, we're at 16. Where's the wiggle room?
And you're going to school.
And you're going to school.
Like, by the way. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, technically you're going to school. I mean, like, the professional players
don't
go home. They
right.
get treatment. That's their only job.
Listen, I don't mind if we were just honest about this and said, hey, the kids aren't going to school, right? Like, the classes are very different from the classes that the engineering major is taking. Right?
Demetri, I've said this since I was in Alabama. I've said, why can't a kid major in football?
Yeah.
Why can't we have that?
I think that there are, I mean, look, I live in North Carolina now, right? Like, Duke is well known as a very good academic institution. You come to Duke to play basketball, you're going to major in philosophy because there are certain things about the philosophy department that work A, on the basketball team schedule, and B, are about getting you ready to be a professional, right? Like,
wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah. I mean, listen, my wife graduated from Georgetown, and when we were dating and I was at the University of Alabama, I was telling her, oh yeah, like Gerald Wallace is in like this blow off class I have because like that's what the athletes are in. And she said to me like, oh, I don't think we had those at Georgetown. And I said, baby, Allen Iverson went to your school. You had those at Georgetown. Whoa! No shade to Iverson. Iverson is my all-time favorite basketball player. But let's be honest about how these guys end up at college. Which, look, that's an argument for maybe these guys shouldn't have to go to college, but that's a whole other discussion. My point is that, Matt, when you ask about how far this thing could possibly expand,
16 got to be the number.
Please.
I mean, we talk about the number. Like, it can't get higher than 16. I like 12. I'm with you. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I don't want to see it get higher than 16. But this is the college football playoff is literally owned by ESPN. They get to say when it's done expanding.
Is there any reason to pay any attention to the bowl games after this?
I mean, yeah, because they're fun. Like that's only been the only reason to pay attention to these bowl games.
As far as handle and stuff, it's going to drop. I mean, there's going to be a precipitous drop of why am I betting on or taking bets on games where kids are not playing,
opting out like crazy.
Opting out.
The only thing that could get me to bet on a bowl game that is not one of the 2 semifinals or the national championship is if there is just such a mismatch, because I watch everything in the world of college football, right? So if I see, a team like an Eastern Michigan playing a really up-tempo team, or one of the service academies playing a really up-tempo team, no matter who opts out, I'll bet on that because I know, just like Vanderbilt against Alabama, if you're a team that your only goal is to just drain clock all day long, you're probably going to win a meaningless football game.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, like I'm not banking on any of the biggest stars of the sport being there.
So you do watch everything? You're very
Yeah.
down the college. Did you watch UNLV Syracuse game on Friday night?
I didn't stick with it all the way to the end, but I
got
did.
tired?
I did watch
Okay.
a
All right.
chunk of it. Yeah.
Well, there was a couple horrible calls that
Yeah.
resulted in Syracuse winning, and
And
again
college
they
football,
won
no.
the game. It's one of those things. Give us a Mountain West. Is Boise getting in? Is UNLV getting in? And would you actually think that they have a shot if they get into that 12-team playoff of winning a game? Because they're going to be like 20-point dogs.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on who the 5 seed is, right? And logic tells you it's probably Georgia, Alabama, or Texas. So no, but literally anybody. Well, no, I take that back. Georgia probably could walk over Boise State with no problem. Alabama, I mean, I don't know if
they
we're
just
looking
lost
at,
to Vanderbilt.
Well, this is what
Demetri.
I'm saying. Like, I don't know if we're looking at like the Lincoln Riley version of Alabama right now, where Alabama's just going to have to outscore everybody 45-42 to win games. Like Ashton Genty, like absolutely levels the playing field, right?
True.
Like it's very possible that a team that is always looking to outscore could get got by a talent like that.
Does he win the Heisman? Does he win the Heisman?
He's got to be the front runner right now, right? Like as great as Milroe was in that Georgia game and has been during the season, the loss to Vanderbilt's a lot to overcome.
Well,
Hunter's
him and Ward.
It's Ward. It's Hunter.
Yeah, and then Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter, I don't buy. He definitely has the talent, but I don't buy it because of the history of Heisman voters. Like they're not going to, no matter what a kid has done, a 6-6 team is not going to produce a Heisman winner.
That's fair. But what if Miami's undefeated?
Yeah, I mean I said this last year after, was it week 0 or week 1, whatever week it was that Notre Dame played Navy. I thought that Sam Hartman had a real shot because if you have the right helmet, you really don't have to do a whole lot. And Miami is one of those helmets.
It's a very good point. Demetri, tell the folks where they can get your stuff. They can read it and follow along for all your content. Sure.
Look, my Twitter handle is on the screen there. I link everything I do, but barrettmedia.com is where you can read my stuff. And on all of the social handles, SEC Unfiltered, as well as where you can find college football bubble bath that I do every Friday.
Good stuff. Demetri, thank you for the time. Appreciate you coming on. Good stuff today.
All right, boys. Always good talking to you.
Demetri, Barrett Sports Media, Barrett Media joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Good to get him on the program, talking everything about SEC and what's going to happen with the tournament and 16 teams, 24 teams, whatever we're going to wind up going
Can we
with.
just get the 12 right? Like, let's just get the 12 right.
We haven't seen 12. I agree. We haven't seen 12 yet.
Like,
so
let's just get the 12
agree.
right.
I agree. Let's make sure we get the 12 right.
Because there's going to be 2 really caca games of the in
just
the first
2?
round.
Only 2?
Yeah,
more than 2.
No, I think the other ones, they're going to be very competitive.
So 5, 12, 6, 11 are horrible, but 7, 10 will be
12
decent.
probably has the makings of being an absolute disaster for the 12.
Georgia versus Boise or UNLV. Oh my
and they're going to
God.
be like, public's going to be like, oh,
Liberty,
they'll
by the way.
cover the spread. They'll this, they'll that.
Liberty plays tonight. Liberty's not out of that conversation either. I mean, Liberty could be the potentially group of 5 team that makes it too. So you want to watch Liberty tonight. You can watch
16.5 against Florida International. Wow.
Yeah.
I should have asked Demetri about
Jimmy
that.
football. My idea was, because at my school at UMass, we had a thing basically called make your own major. So you were able to sit down with an advisor, and you essentially had to have a certain number of prereqs, a certain number of gen ed classes, and then a certain number of classes that were geared towards a certain type of discipline that you were wanting to go into. So you could build it as long as it met the criteria from the advisor, that was your major. You were able to take classes. It's called the 5 college system where I'm about in Western Mass, but you go to different schools. If UMass didn't have the class you wanted at that school, you could go to Amherst College or go to Hampshire College.
Right.
I've always thought that if I'm going to go into football, shouldn't I be taking economics? Shouldn't I be taking some type of class that's going to help me in my next iteration, business classes, economics classes, things like that, where maybe and I could get credit for going to practice, because these kids are on the practice field for hours upon hours. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, here's your 15 credits you have to go take in addition to being a football player. So I've always thought could be something we do to help the kids out football wise, to make it less of a burden, because we know why they're there. They're not there to become school teachers or whatever. They're there to learn how to play football. and what happens after football. Coaching, by the way, take philosophy, take courses that can help you become a GM, take courses that can help you become a scout, or law classes to become an agent. Like, it doesn't have to be like a football player, but could we do something in the sports world after you're done?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because you may get a kid involved in something in college that they didn't know that they liked by taking a class that they didn't know that they had any interest in, and then all of a sudden it sparks a post-playing career, vocation. Like, they
Fair.
can do something with it.
Like,
it's very hard. I mean, I went to school and lived in the dorm the first 2 years with all, like, half the football players. It was crazy what I saw. I mean, and some of them were there just to go to practice and play football, and they were going to just figure out life. If their knee blew out or their shoulder got hurt, they'll figure it out. It was such a short-term thing, and I think that might lead to short-term thinking. Now, at least with the NIL, some of them can get paid and actually have money to then fall back on and follow up with it. Like, I got to get a job.
I'm just scared for the 5-year, 10-year window story of, like, XYZ quarterback made $5 million in NIL money, and now he's broke.
Now it's gone. Now he's
broke.
Yeah.
What did he lose his money on? Bad investments, gambling addiction, drug addict, whatever. Those stories are going to pop up because they happened when the football salaries got out of control. And they're like, how is this player who made $50 million his career? How is he broke? Well, here's how: X, Y, and Z, So those stories are going to unfortunately pop. All right, let's talk hockey. Welcome back to the NHL tonight. When do you start betting it, Dave? When do you start taking a look at it? Opening night, or do you wait a little while?
Christmas, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, there's a lot to learn between now and then. It will 100% be after October. It won't be till Halloween, till after Halloween. I mean, you got to let October play out. These odds are great. There's a lot of people on a lot of different things. And
Oilers, Panthers, Avalanche, Stars, Devils, and the Rangers. Those are your 6 top options here. I know it's a little blurry. I apologize for that for the graphic. But
so Western Conference: Oilers, Avalanche, Stars. Eastern Conference: Panthers, Devils, Rangers. Stop me if you've heard this before. I mean, that sounds exactly like last year.
Is this the Oilers' year?
Oh boy.
Is this finally McDavid's time?
Oh, Canada. We
Got
love
to
you
the
guys.
Cup finals last year. Can they get back to win the Stanley Cup finally for Canada? We haven't seen it since the early 90s.
Boy, oh boy. We have so many people that watch dearly, like, and listen to the show. Copy and paste the odds. You can just change a couple numbers here and there, but it's just like that.
Everyone on the planet,
Seabass,
tell me, is every single person who's betting a future for the NHL on this play?
Yeah.
This is the most unbelievable rinse and repeat pick that I have seen. Everyone is on this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Oh, I mean, all the experts are out there saying it. It's got to be true.
What are we doing with this? I can't bet this just strictly on this group.
Well, you better get a ticket on it just in case they actually do it, because then you can say you had it back in the day. I mean, you don't have to bet the Predators to win the Stanley Cup now. The odds aren't going to change much between now and then based on what they're going to do. So I can tell you right now, save your You buy tickets to keep the
Corbin.
Canadian dry streak going. Oh, Corbin, why does Canada got to catch
mean to
straight
Canada?
Like, I mean, what the hell? He's off today. Corbin's off.
Oh,
so he could take shots. No, I love him. I hope for Canada's sake they get one soon. I don't know if this is their year.
I don't think it is.
I think it's set up to be. They are in the favorite role. They have the Stanley Cup final experience that they didn't have or just couldn't get to before. So everything is setting up for Edmonton to get back there and actually win it. But they got to play 82 games first. And then they got to, by the way, get through the gauntlet that is the NHL playoffs.
You just don't want your team to be the President Cup trophy winner. 11 straight years. Do not want your team to be the number one most points in the regular season. You don't want that to happen. If it happens to your team, goodbye. That's it. Goodbye. I'll call my shot here. Dallas wins the cup.
Win the cup.
Dallas wins the cup. I think Jake Ottinger is going to have a big bounce back year. Last year was, if you were betting Dallas Stars games, really the last year and a half, the Dallas Stars a year and a half ago were the best under team. I made tons of money betting unders for Dallas because Ottinger couldn't get beat. And then halfway through the year, a year and a half ago, something happened. Dallas threw a switch and they became an offensive team and they scored like crazy. That continued last year where Ottinger was just not the same goaltender at all. I think he bounces back. I think this is what he's going to do this year. I like Dallas.
Again, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. I think one of the things that, I mean, if you guys have been watching and listening to the show with us now, again, as we approach 700, people asked me last night, how many shows have you and Matt done? I'm like, close to 700. They're like, what? How many years is that? I'm like, God, we're in year number 3 now. I said, when we get to December.
Yet, right? No, not yet. We started in December. We'll start year 3. December 10th is our anniversary. That'll be a 2-year, right?
December 2021 we started. No?
Oh, I think you're right. Our 3-year anniversary will be this December. Damn. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. You're right.
We're still here.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
And again, we keep showing up.
That's crazy.
Keep showing up. It's hard to believe.
Year 3 going year 4. Wow.
Right? Yeah, because we did LA. We were doing the show.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Phoenix. We were doing the show.
3 years, and then Vegas. And this would be 4. This February would be 4.
Right.
You're
That's
right.
what I'm saying. So what I was going to say there is the sports like baseball, the sports like hockey, with so many guys on a team, so many different impactful players coming and going and all this other stuff and injuries. The team that you're betting on today is very different from the team you're getting when the playoffs start in April. For baseball, the team you're betting on, I mean, look at the baseball playoffs. The Kansas City Royals are playing the New York Yankees, and the Cleveland Guardians are playing the Detroit Tigers. 2 of those teams are going to be in the ALCS. And there's only one of those 4 that you really would have said, some Cleveland people would have maybe, okay, bet Cleveland at that time. So I think Dallas will be one of the top 4 teams in the West. Yes, based on roster construction and ability to get good goaltending for long amounts of time. They got the best. They got one of the best guys in the league doing that job. We talked to an unbelievable goaltender yesterday, Brian from Rhythm. Makes perfect sense. You got to be have more than one screw loose to be a goalie, but you can't win in the NHL without one. So yes, Dallas, top 4 team in the West, depending on the path, could win it. I right now think an Eastern Conference team wins it.
New York?
I can't decide with this. I mean, everything again will set up. I love Igor.
Can't be the Bruins. Not picking the Bruins, are you?
No, listen. This Swayman thing is settled.
I can't believe how much content they put out with Swayman. Every 2 seconds, it's Bruins, Swayman, Bruins, Swayman. I mean, like, it's a content factory for the Bruins.
I don't know because we named the show Bostonian versus the Book that I get all of that.
Right.
Or because, if you retweet it or something, I catch it and I'm like, my God. They were putting billboards up 2 weeks ago burying this guy. And Cam Neely was trying to smear him and all this other, and then boom, hey, come back. You got an 8-year deal.
$8 million a year. I want to be nowhere else but the Bruins. I mean, as I said, I thought it was totally overblown. I thought it was a joke. I think Swayman wanted to be in the Bruins organization still. He didn't want to go anywhere. Got his paycheck, and now it's kumbaya. Let's go play hockey.
Can you put those odds back up to win the Stanley Cup real quick?
Sure.
Can you pop that back up?
It's blurry as hell, but yeah.
That's all right. Well, I just need to know the names there. All right, so it's is it coming from the first column on the left?
It could.
More importantly, can it come from the second column from the left? Can it come from Predators, Golden Knights, Bruins, Lightning?
Well, the Preds are everyone's
Kings?
pick, so I'm going to say no. I think Vegas has got massive problems this year. I think this could be a real big step back year for the Golden Knights. The Bruins have a big question. Obviously, offense is going to be a big question. They're getting older in the tooth with their veteran players. The Lightning in the same situation. The Canucks are the Canucks. I can't buy it. And the Kings are the Kings. I can't buy it either. So maybe, but I feel much more confident to say it's the first teams out of the first column.
See, all right. So maybe one of those 6 hockey heads. Type your Stanley Cup winner in the chat right now.
Could you get both the Devils and the Rangers there, Avalanche and the Stars, and Panthers? I guess, and the Oilers. I'm not really. The Panthers being the second option is kind of interesting to me. I'm not sure I agree with that, but
they won the Stanley Cup last year.
I know, but it's hard to repeat.
The majority of the team is back.
Hard to repeat. They're older. They're a whole year older. They played a lot of. Wow, Drake May is starting for the Patriots.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rosie.
Confirmed starter.
Great. Are they bringing in a new offensive line because they need a new offensive line? Oh boy. Okay.
We got Rangers, Devils, Avs, Oilers. See, that's the beauty of it. Like there's 10 teams between that first column on the left and the beginning of the second column, or maybe even a couple down. Because I think Vancouver's going to be good again. I think they are.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do. And the
defensively, can they stop
Kings
the puck?
Could go either way. Yeah, no, I think they'll be fine.
Okay.
I think they'll be fine. The Predators, yes, are a popular dark horse. It's interesting that half the league is the next 2 columns on that graphic. No shot.
Cross them out. Right. We got 3 games tonight. St. Louis at Seattle. How is this? This is really what's wild to me. As a bookmaker, without knowing how the teams are going to play, how do you throw up a number of 160? Because this is actually
every once in a while you throw out a really, really good question that would allow you in the risk room. Because that's the question that needs to be asked.
They're all high. All 3 of these games today are really high. And I'm like, do we know what teams are going to do what? Like, there's this game, which is 160. How about Chicago's at Utah? It's 170. This is the first game. This is the first game ever played in Utah. Right. We've never seen the Utah Hockey Club, which is the dumbest, stupidest name ever, but I get it. Next year it'll change. But this is the Coyotes, who sucked last year. And now they're 170 against a Chicago team that has made some additions. They're a year later with a superstar kid on their roster. How is this 170?
I'm looking at them. I saw them this morning and I went, oh, well, I doubt hockey will make much of the rundown. I thought baseball would make more of the rundown, but I was like, all right, that's fine. We'll do both. I have no idea how Utah's this big of a favorite. Honestly, I mean, Chicago, it won't be. I would take dog today.
Well, I don't know. I'm taking the Bruins against Florida. Like it's a banner night.
Why?
Because it's a banner night. I don't know.
That's when you bet against them.
Okay. It's tough. I mean, I know people who say take the Bruins right now. Bruins are going to win this game. The Blackhawks and the Bruins, take them both. Take both dogs money line. They're both going to win tonight.
I don't know. Again, I default to the dogs a lot of times. I would make every game minus 135, 140, and tonight, like at max. As soon as we went there, if they laid it, that's fine. I mean, and if we got anybody watching the show and you want to talk about like hockey betting, you're more than welcome to come on here always, because we got a lot of hockey heads. But they're shading it extra high in Florida, here in Vegas. Okay. So they're a little bit extra, 57 at circa 55. Wow. Okay. But yeah, totals under, over. I mean, yes. St. Louis, Seattle's an under game.
Bruins
6.
This is an
I'm surprised.
This is 3-2. Bruins, Panthers is 3-2.
Right.
That's an under game.
Huh. Wow. The Juice said Coyotes show out for the Mormons tonight. My cousin's going, and the whole Wasatch Valley are geeked out about their hockey team.
Yeah. This is St. Louis. Salt Lake City has been waiting for a professional sports team outside the Jazz for decades. And they've wanted to get baseball and hockey. And like, I know people in Kansas City who are pissed off because they thought that they were going to get a hockey team because they built the Sprint Center to get a hockey team and never got a hockey team. So it's been like, where's the hockey team? Well, the hockey team that was going to move to Salt Lake. And so now you have the Salt Lake City market, and they are super excited. They want baseball too. I mean, Salt Lake wants 3. They have 1. They want 3. It's a huge hockey town. I agree. It is a huge hockey, just like Vegas was.
Is there
They
talk of them like
Yes.
getting involved in this?
They're already involved in it. They've been involved from the get-go. They already have plans. They've already presented it to Major League Baseball. Salt Lake wants the A's. I've said send them to Salt Lake City. Send them there. It's the same geographical region.
They want the A's?
They want the A's.
Because that's their probably only way of getting a Major League franchise is to take an existing one like that. They're never going to get an expansion, most
Probably
likely.
not. But that's what I mean, if I was the commissioner of baseball, the first thing I would do is say, like, I know they're going to demo it, or they demoed it last night. I didn't see the replays of it. Did you watch it last night?
It's tonight.
Oh, it's tonight.
It's tonight.
Okay. So they're dropping down Tropicana tonight.
Yeah.
Dropping down everything for Tropicana. So they're going to at least appear to be building a ballpark here. But I would say go to Salt Lake, guys. Like, that's a market that wants you. You do much better there than you will do in Vegas. Baseball here with the A's is a DOA.
I'm excited to see how this goes. I was in Phoenix when the Coyotes came from Winnipeg, and I was geeked up. I was going to the games. We ended up getting season tickets, and the one side had 4 rows behind the one net. It was at America West Arena. It wasn't built for hockey. So when you sat in the top behind the one net, it was obstructed view. You couldn't see the offensive zone on your side of the ice, which is what the Delta Center is for Salt Lake.
Really?
Half of the rink on that behind the net, all the seats behind the net, you can't see the offensive zone. You have to watch the game on the scoreboard.
Wow.
The way it's set up. So we're going to see. I mean, we saw games down in Arizona in a really funky rink.
5,000 people.
Couple years, small. And I'm sorry that I never went. 100%. I'm going to a game in Utah this year.
Wow.
100% we're flying up. It's a lot of. I had a really good time when I went up there for 2 days to watch Kylie play softball. When her conference tournament was up there. I think this is wow. Utah plus 150 minus 1.5 is the play tonight. I don't know.
Santana might be wrong something though, because look, Vegas had the October 1 shooting. Okay, so that's a little bit of a difficult thing to look at in terms of like game 1. But Vegas was up 3-0 in a blink of an eye in their first game here. It was ridiculous when they opened up here. It was expansion, but they opened up here, so it was crazy. Kraken were really good in year 1, really good in year 1. Now. That was expansion, Vegas expansion, Kraken expansion. This is an existing franchise. So it's a little bit of a different animal than what we've seen recently here. It's a great question. They're selling beer. I think they are selling beer. I think you can buy beer at Jazz games.
Somebody that knows.
I think they do. I think they are selling beer at the game because Salt Lake has tried very hard to modernize itself and appear modern. They built a brand new airport. They've tried to get rid of that label.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. They're trying to get rid of that label that they are like, stuck in the 1820s type of thing.
Yeah.
So my gut tells me that they are going to be selling alcohol tonight. That it would be shocking.
Utah is the one state of all the shows that we've done in Roll Call Friday.
Yeah.
We have not had Utah dabbed on the map.
We've never had Vermont.
Vermont either? Okay.
Never had Vermont. We've never had
Vermont, Utah, and there's one other one, right?
Yep. Hold on. I know them. I got to think. Who have we never had? We've never had Utah. North Dakota is the other one.
No. We had somebody visit.
Oh, you're right. No, we have.
Yeah,
we have North Dakota. We have. So those are the only two. I think those are the only 2 states. I think we got North Dakota recently. That's right.
Yeah.
So we've had every other state except for Vermont and except for Utah, because Alabama came in with TJ. So we got that.
Right.
We've had New Mexico. We've had, that's the only one in Roll Call Friday. Those are the only 2 states. We had 48 of the 50. Because, I mean, we have Alaska and Hawaii crossed off, which is crazy. 2 of the harder ones to get we have.
Right.
Alaska's every week.
Alaska,
the Utah rink is hot garbage. Ooh. Interesting. How do we know that? Just because of preseason?
100% I'm going to be watching this later. I mean, Chicago, Bedard, everything. Why can't they be competitive? I don't know. Like it's one of those situations where yes, it's a new rink and yes, it's a new team, but it's not. But because it's the Coyotes and all this other stuff, minus 170.
Yeah. One more hockey question, then we'll get to baseball. Ovechkin's 42 goals away from Gretzky's record. 894.
Fabulous.
He scored only 31 last year, though. Does he do it? Does Ovi get the record this year?
This year?
Yeah.
No.
Does he play another year? He plays 2 more seasons, you think?
I don't know.
This feels like it's it for Ovechkin, no?
Crosby just signed 2 years. They came in the same year. Maybe he plays this year and next year. He ain't getting 42 goals this year.
He's 39 years of age.
Listen, Yager just actually hung it up, and he's 50-something. Hell, I don't know. Ovi's one of those guys that they're going to have to rip the uniform off of him.
He's going to own the team practically. How much money he's made, he'll own the team by the time he's done.
I don't know. It's one of those guys that, like, when the Penguins and the Capitals, I mean, from the time I was a little kid, there was a huge rivalry. I couldn't stand that team, but I always respected them. And all right, Linus Krimmich says, no doubt in my mind Ovechkin plays next year. I agree with you, Linus. I think
40.
he plays this year and next year. That's a guy that's earned everything that he's gotten.
100%.
He looks like a tremendous teammate.
Yep.
He's in that dirty area of the.
Do you think they feed him? Do you think Addison's onto something that they're going to feed him to get him the record? That they'll just keep on giving him scoring chances?
They do it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be on the ice as much. And when you're 39, no matter how good of a skater you are, there's at least half or 3/4 of the guys on a team that skate faster than you. So them empty net situations at the end of the game, you're the guy on the bench watching. You're not the guy on the ice trying to end the game with different stuff like that. I had that happen in my whatever so-called playing career. It was fun because I was always on the ice or on the rink for those situations. And then I appreciated, you know what? I'm going to let them try to dive in front of that puck and block the shot at the end of the game. I can watch and I'll yell backdoor from the bench. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. What happened last night? All 4 divisional games are now tied at 1 apiece. It's the first time that's ever happened. In your mind, how many of the 4 are going 5 games?
We said it before. We asked this question before the series has all started. I thought 3 of the 4 were going to go 5 games. I still think that. But all the favorites are on notice.
They all might go 5 games.
They all might go. They absolutely all might go.
We might get 4 5-game series.
Which again?
Or 5, 4 or 5 games.
4 or 5 game series. Sign me up for all of it. That would be awesome. That would lead us into the weekend. I'm good. I'm good with it. Are you good with it?
LA is toast, not going 5. Why are they toast? I'm good with if LA is toast, but I don't know. Maybe they're toast with that lineup. I don't know if I can call LA toast. They're dangerous. They're dangerous.
Walker Buehler today.
Yep.
Tomorrow, both them and San Diego are undecided. How can you be on the precipice of elimination
and not know?
Well,
if you're up 2-1, different than if you're down 2-1, I guess. That's who you throw. You got a little more leeway. Scooble's gone 24 1/3 scoreless innings.
Listen, Daniel G's
in his playoffs. Right now. In the playoffs.
Right. Daniel G's in here. And he's become one of the guys that's really came to watch the live show in Chicago. I got asked last night at the meeting, when are you guys coming back to Chicago to do a show?
I don't know. Over-under bar. Let's go, boys. Let's talk.
I said,
let's go.
We have a guy, the people that were in this meeting yesterday were at the live show, all of them except one. And They said, you guys need to come back and do that again. That was a lot of fun. I said, yeah, we do. Make it happen. Anyhow, we got to meet Daniel G. We got to meet. I haven't met, but we have met on the show here. Claircheck, 313, Detroit. I had goosebumps yesterday watching Scooble pitch. That was
dominant.
Magic. He was amazing. Then Cleveland matched it. It was 0-0 to the 9th. Trent even said he was betting no run every inning and then rolled it over. He said, I'm betting no every inning until somebody scores. Turned out to be the best handicap of his life. It went 8 innings straight. And then, there was a catch that it didn't really look like a catch. There was a big man going up. Parker Meadows, the center fielder for the Tigers, went up and grabbed the ball. He was 6'5". If he's not 6'5" and could jump, it probably ends the game for, Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
It was an awesome baseball game, man. I was so happy for the Tiger fans because that means they get 2.
Right. Minimum.
Every series getting 4 games is good enough. I'm
a lot going on.
The favorites are in trouble.
Well, the Yankees might be in trouble if they can't score. If they can't score, they only had 1 run going into the 9th. They got a Chisholm home run in the 9th to make it 4-2, but if they can't score, they're in deep trouble. They better win game 3.
Oh, baby.
Because I'm the Royals. I'm throwing my guys on short rest.
They don't have to. They got a day off today.
Well, it's still
everything stays on schedule.
Well,
it's Lugo against Schmidt on game 3.
4.
No, game 3 is Wednesday.
Oh, right. Okay.
They can take a 2-1 lead. They got Lugo at home.
Why are we doing
somehow
these days off?
Odds makers made the Yankees the favorite. JC from KC, I'm not even pandering to the audience.
Right.
Dave's Daily Picks. We're trading texts. This guy hits me up. Now he knows I'm up, but he hits me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Am I crazy to think that the Royals can beat the Yankees with that pitching staff? No, you're not crazy because I'm up looking at the same stuff. I'm telling you, these numbers it's baseball. It's one of those things where Rodon came out and was like so overly excited at the beginning of the game, which I understand. He's taking out a lot. I mean, it's okay. Are you okay with pitchers showing emotion?
I need it.
Pitchers?
I need it. I want it. I mean, I want pitchers showing emotion. Yes.
He may have been a little over the top.
I don't care. But
that was fine, right?
Yeah.
Well,
just be able to take it back. I have no problem if you show the outward emotion, but just be able to take it back when the hitter does it to you. I don't want anyone getting hit.
Correct.
You're not putting the ball in anyone's back.
Correct.
The next time. So I have no problem you yelling in your glove, pumping your fist, turning around, do it, show emotion. Just understand that if a guy hits a ball 500 feet and he throws the bat up and goes, whoo, you got to take that.
Where are you with the like the little added bonuses on the home run shot? Like
I love
step back and do the thing at third base.
I love the whole third base dance when they come around.
Do you like that?
Oh, I love that. That's tremendous. Or a handshake with a third base. Give me emotion, man. I can't stand when we have sports and we want to do it in a library. Like golf is the only sport that I'm okay with it being like that. Every other sport, you need emotion, but you got to be able to take it. If you dish it out, you got to be able to take it back.
You got to be able to take it.
It can't be a one-way street where I get to show you up, and then when the vice versa happens, I got a baseball in my hand and I'm going to make you wear one. Like that's not okay with me at all.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Yankees in the first couple of innings. If they don't score first in game 3, that bat's going to turn to sawdust. They're going to start gripping.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look, the New York media is in a froth right now with the Jets. The next thing they can go after is the Yankees because the Mets are just like quietly lurking beneath the surface. And you heard it yesterday talking to Moose about the Mets and what they might be able to do. The Mets have no fear. The Mets have no worries. They're playing with house money. They're just like, let's go. This is great. No one needs to. I mean, if I'm a Met fan, I love what's going on with the other two teams. The Giants are an also-ran disaster. No one cares about the Giants. The Jets are an absolute burning dumpster fire, and the Yankees could get bounced by the Royals. Beautiful if I'm a Met fan. I love what's going on. Love it. Exactly what I want to be happening if I'm a Met fan.
Yeah. I mean, is it fair to say that the team with a better chance to win right now in the playoffs in New York is the Mets?
100%. I think the Yankees aren't that good. I've been saying this all year. Like, I just don't think they're very good. They're not built like a playoff baseball team. They can't manufacture runs. Outside of Garrett Cole, there's no one I'm really afraid of. And the Royals are playing with house money. Like, what do they care? You're the Yankees. You're supposed to be punishing us. We're supposed to get annihilated. We're going to throw our top 2 pitchers, and we got enough timely hits. I mean, Perez goes deep. that was cool when they had the shot up where they had the catcher's mask. You see the ball, you saw the contact. You know that ball was gone the second you saw that. It was like, oh shit, he hit the hell out of that thing.
That was the umpire cam.
Oh, it was, yeah, whatever it was. But that was cool to see that.
The umpire wears a camera on his helmet, and the pitch was thrown, and Saleh knew it was coming. He was looking fastball, and he hit that ball almost into the second deck.
Yeah, he crushed it. You knew it. The second you saw the ball hit the
Stadium.
bat, you're like, oh no, that was barreled.
That
like
was
he hit the
perfect.
hell out of that thing.
Yeah, he hit that perfect. I don't know. The Yankees, I thought the Royals game 2 was a must win. It's not mathematically, but I think the Yankees game 3 is a must win.
Well, we got 2 game 3s tonight. Phillies, Mets. We'll do this now so we can get the baseball portion.
Yep.
Nola against Manaea. Total of 7. This ballpark is going to be on fire.
Can't wait.
This is going to be wild.
Starts at 2:00 Pacific for 1 hour from now. I will be watching it. I will be down at the I think the plan is to run down to the Venetian right after we finish the show. So if you guys are watching the show or anybody's watching the show, I may be down there. I may not be. We'll see. Yesterday I did myself a favor and watched the entire baseball game by myself.
There you go.
At one point, my yelling prompted Grandma to come running over to the house because one of the diving catches, I went absolutely crazy, I think. And she's like, is everything okay? I'm like, that was an unbelievable catch. This game 0-0. She's like, is it to go to the World Series? I'm like, no. It's actually this
game 2.
She's like, what?
Yep.
What's wrong with you? I'm like, I love baseball. Get out of here. You know what I mean?
Nola's on bad on the road. Wow. Gonna go with the Mets today, huh? Slight dog at home.
So we got Nola Manaea today.
Mm-hmm.
It lists Suarez Quintana tomorrow. Quintana, I got numbers from MLB Network that I'm waiting to use for tomorrow.
Okay.
On how good Quintana has been. The Phillies better win this game today. Just telling you right now.
Wow.
They may.
Mets in 4.
That very possible.
Mets in 4. Dodgers, Buehler, Padres, King. Big favorite, San Diego tonight. -160 with a total of 7.5.
Did you hear the story about Walker Buehler over the weekend? It was over this past weekend, but apparently it was the weekend before and it was hush-hush.
Oh, when he got robbed.
He went to Santa Anita.
Yeah, got robbed.
He was wearing a $100,000 watch at the track trying to pick the pick 6 or whatever the hell he was doing and got surrounded by some people and they took his watch. What the hell's going on? First of all, I love Santa Anita. I'm not a horse guy, but I love Santa Anita. I've been there multiple times. Would love to go back again because I believe that the Breeders' Cup is there, and I'm trying to get us a little bit of a weekday trip go out to do a show from around the Breeders' Cup.
Ooh.
We'll see if that gets done. I don't know. Padres today. King against Buehler. Just saying.
Oh, I know.
Padres stuff.
I like the Padres. I mean, look, I don't need to bet these games because I'm just going to watch my whole bet on the Padres to win the National League is on this series. So I don't need to bet it. I just need to sit back and watch it and see because that was my bet. Padres over Dodgers. So we get there.
Are you holding anything else on either Mets or Phillies?
No, not yet.
National League to get a plus.
Not yet.
Well, whoever you think, if you're in that situation,
I like the Mets.
And you have the Padres ticket, you will get a better price today by picking the winner of that game in the pennant number. If you look right now, if you like the Mets today, you should bet the Mets right now to win the pennant and lock in the price because that price today is not going to be the price tomorrow. Fat Joe said it. I love that. It's one of my favorite clips. The price today is not the price tomorrow.
4-1 if you want the Mets to win the National League pennant right now. So you can go
4-1,
4-1,
and a 5-1, and then
the Padres are now 230, Dodgers 230, Phillies 220 to win the pennant.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think there's an assumption today that the Phillies are just going to win this game. There's a lot of books I was checking this morning that have the Mets odds as the worst team in the National League because they're going to lose today and lose tomorrow.
I took the Guardians last night at 9-1 to win the World Series.
Okay.
To say, okay, I think the Guardians can beat the Yankees. I think they can beat the Royals to get in, and then have whoever they play on the
Tigers. The Guardians have to beat the Tigers.
They can beat. I think they beat the Tigers, but if Scooble could pitch every day, I would say Tigers are there. But he can't pitch every day, so it's like I think they win Game 3. And I think it's over in 5 probably. So. And Scooble may pitch Game 5. Who knows? Maybe they have him on short rest and they throw Scooble in Game 5. But I still think the Guardians are going to win that series. So then they're in the ALCS, and then I think they can beat whomever comes out to their side. I think they beat the Yankees, and then they can beat the Royals. So that's why I took the Guardians. I think it's Guardians Padres. If I'm picking an exacta, that's who I think is in the finals.
That wouldn't be a bad option.
You sign up for Guardians Padres?
Just saying it wouldn't be a bad option. Anybody that doesn't have the Yankees in there, that's probably good. I know it's good. That would be great.
Yeah, I don't think the Yankees are going to be there. I really don't. I mean, I hate the Yankees, but I just don't think that they're going to be there. I really don't. All right, it's Tuesday. We do college football on Tuesday. We talked a little bit already with Demetri, but this is where we get into just a massive weekend of college football. This was the weekend that everyone talked about in August about, oh my gosh, how many games, how many amazing games do we have? This is a wild stat from our friend Evan Abrams from the Action Network, who joined us last week on the program. Games with totals of 60 or higher in college football this year, the under is 71 and 42. So it's not just the NFL that's having somewhat of a lack of power, lack of offense. College football is not seeing the same numbers. I mean, 60 is not that high for a college football total.
We were doing this on 8 in the Box, me and B Howe with Newbie. We would take the highest total of the week and
Bet
play under.
Even college, not NFL?
It was all college. It was all college. It was only college. We were doing the show was all college. So we would pick the highest total of the week and go under. And we went in 2 seasons because we didn't do it last year. 10-2.
Whoa.
And
damn.
9-3.
To the under.
2 years. To the under. So we would take the highest total and go under. So that's 19-5, which is falling in line close to this number. I think the way the clock moves now, right?
Interesting. Fair point. Okay.
The college game is so different than what it was. And I don't think odds makers have adapted that part of it. I think totals can be got. I really do. And it was one of those things that I'm able to see because I'm not in the risk room with that tunnel vision, trying to get those numbers and having to make numbers for all this stuff. You watch the games a lot differently. And I watched them like when we're together on Saturdays after all the picks and everything get in and we watch the games. Doesn't it feel like it's faster?
Yes, 100%. Games are faster.
Games are like we're talking and we're watching and we're talking and all of a sudden it's halftime.
Yep.
And it's like, wow.
The games are 3 hours. The games really aren't.
They really shorten the games. Well, that shortens the scoring.
Opportunities, right. Not as many big plays as we've seen. The game of the weekend is Oregon hosting Ohio State. This is a conference game. Like, what the? This is a conference game. Oregon is a dog to Ohio State. The total is 54. Ohio State's laying 3.5 points. The Buckeyes on the road against a top 10 team, just 6-13-1 against the spread. The last time Oregon was a home dog against a team that was not from the West Coast, 2003 against Michigan. They won the game outright. Is Oregon going to lose at home to Ohio State?
Yep.
Really?
I think so.
I can't wait to watch this. I don't. I think Oregon wins the game. I think there's a learning curve. This is when these teams from the Midwest are going out west. You got to learn how to go play out at Oregon. That stadium is ridiculously loud. That is a hard place to play.
Give the boys and girls in the chat that have been hanging with us, and we got a nice crowd in here right now. We appreciate the hell out of all of you. Vote right now. Ohio State. Let me see. What's the number?
3.5, right?
Yeah, it might be 3.5 where you're looking. It might be more of a 3. Let me just double check because I don't want to be accused of shading the number. No, There's more 3.5s than 3s.
Yeah.
Let's use 3 for the purposes of the poll, though, because
Oh,
I think it's going.
That's cheating.
Well, no, it's going to 3. I mean, it's Tuesday.
Okay.
It's not going up. Use 3.
Okay.
Ohio State -3, Oregon +3. What are you betting if you're betting it today? I'm not asking
3.5.
you to bet it.
I'm betting 3.5 is what I'm betting.
Well, yeah. I mean, you better grab the 3.5 if you like Oregon, because it's going to go away. It's going to go away. That's going to be the first move. But I'm curious. I don't know. I think Oregon wins. I mean, I think Ohio State wins.
I think Oregon wins. I think Oregon wins the game. I think Ohio State's going to be in for a little bit of an eye opener here. This is when the Ryan Day haters come back out.
Might have to go buy that hat that says "the."
I like the Ducks. Give me the Ducks at home.
Oh, I love the Duck stuff.
Give me that stadium. Give me that. Give me the noise. I think it's going to be.
Oh, good. That's prime time. Good.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a prime time game. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30
Yeah.
Pacific. Excellent. That's good. That's what I'm doing Saturday night.
100%.
Perfect.
It's an unbelievable
Because
game.
I'm not watching. This game is early. Go ahead.
You're not watching
Texas,
this game?
Oklahoma. No, I will keep an eye on this game.
Okay.
But this is going to become the first problem for me on a Saturday if I'm trying to watch my
Baseball
game.
and football. Or
Baseball,
Penn State.
football, all this other stuff. But the Penn State game,
We'll get to it in a second.
I'm hoping it's the same time as this game.
This is crazy. 14.5 points in the Red River is like, wait, what? Texas is 4-11 straight up in the last 15 games against Oklahoma. They were favored in just 2 of those games. However, the Longhorns are 31-22 against the spread since 2016 versus a top-ranked team. This is I've been watching Red River for a long time. Sorry, Will. This is a fucking lot of points, man. 14.5 points in Red River is like, wait a minute, time out. These guys played a 1-score games, and I don't care how bad one team is in their side. These guys fucking hate each other. Like, this is war.
You think Oklahoma can upset Texas?
I've seen Auburn nearly upset Bama as a top 5 team when they're on the plains. Like, this is a neutral site game. This is, I don't know, man. Oklahoma has owned Texas for so long. There is a lot of scar tissue there for Longhorn fans that have walked into this game and walked out of the Texas State Fair with their heads down. Like, this is 14.5 points.
I don't think Oklahoma has the bullets in the chamber to pull this off.
This is college football. I know. 14.5 is a lot of points, man. This is a watch. Maybe Texas kills them, but I can't get over this. Like, I think you're supposed to sit there. Oklahoma say they suck. They have an inexperienced quarterback. Their offensive line is trash. Like, all the talking points you want to make up for OU. It's college football. It's college football. Like,
you just said everything that it's going to be.
Okay. It's college. To me, it's college football with monster. This is why you go to Texas. This is why you go to Oklahoma. This is the most passionate rivalry that is in the middle part of the country. Like, this is just take the middle part and the middle part of the country. This is the most passionate rivalry. This is wild to me. This is wild. I can't wait to see it.
I mean, you make this number below 14. People are
Texas?
flying in from Austin to bet this thing with real money, with that, Texas money.
I'm with you, AOWN. I'm not touching the side either. It just seems heavy. It just seems heavy. 14.5 points just seems like, wait, what? For these games, weird things happen, turnovers, mistakes. You mentioned Penn State. Penn State's 5.5-point favorites at USC. This is the first game for Penn State in the Pacific time zone since the 2009 Rose Bowl loss to USC. USC hasn't been this big of a dog, 5 points or more, since 2016. It's their biggest conference game as a dog since 2012. This is a conference game, which makes no sense, but Penn State at USC is a conference game.
I was going to go, but then USC went and lost to Minnesota, and they put the game at 12:30, which messed up the timing of this.
Yep.
Because we got stuff to do on Saturday with
Yep.
the proxy service that we still have to do, despite the fact that there aren't that many people left in Survivor. But we have a lot of people. You guys continue to put your picks and put them in on time.
I love this show. USC plus 5.5. USC are frauds.
That's welcome to. Like, this is the sports book discussion. This is one of those exact situations where I'm surprised that the number is this high. Okay. I thought their initial number of 3.5, 4 was good.
Okay.
But they didn't take the 3.5 or 4. So now, if they lay it, boom, we go right to 5 or 5.5. So where is the take on USC is the question that we're
6?
asking in the book. I don't know. It might not be. I don't know if USC is going to be able to score enough, just like I know Oklahoma's not going to be able to score enough to keep up with Texas. Penn State's defense may be the underlying story of Penn State's season.
Fair.
Because the offense is very Singleton didn't even play last week. They had no big play capability. Looks like that was a snooze fest. I tried to watch the replay and I fell asleep. So I gotta watch it again.
How many survivors are left in our Big Ten survivor pool? I told you, send me that screenshot because I can't access it in Nevada. I'm geo-targeted out.
Oh, yeah, USC was a big favorite at Minnesota last week and lost.
Took everybody down.
Oh,
the Big Ten survivor. So how many are left? We might be getting low here.
And this week's not easy. I mean, there's some other Big Ten.
There's 55 people left. Okay.
Good
number.
Oh, that's good.
A lot of you guys are left. That's good.
I met somebody yesterday. They knew I went to Penn State, and he's a Buckeye fan. And I said, you guys better hold up your end of the bargain this week, because if we beat USC, we're coming down to us hosting Ohio State, both undefeated. I want it to happen so bad. I'm worried this is the game Penn State trips up.
Wow.
They're leaving on Thursday because the runway isn't big enough. Thank you, CBW, for posting James Franklin's comments. The truck left yesterday.
Okay.
The equipment truck has to drive across the country to be here for practice, to be in LA for practice on Friday.
Right. Makes sense.
5 days, get in the truck, bring the equipment, and we'll be ready for the practice and then ready for the game Saturday and then drive back. Okay. The airport at State College, the runway is not big enough. So size does matter. They have to take a long trip out with all the equipment and everything else that they have to bring. They have to drive to Harrisburg or Pittsburgh.
Damn.
To get on a plane big enough to fly to LA without stopping. So they're leaving Thursday.
Wow.
To get out there, get in a hotel, do the walkthrough, probably in a hotel Thursday night, practice outside Friday, get used to that sun, air, all that other crap, and then go play in the Coliseum on Saturday. I don't know.
Wow.
Big Ten.
Army is 5-0 ATS and straight up. Only 2 schools in the country can say that. BYU and Army are both 5-0 ATS and 5-0 straight up.
Bizarre.
Are these auto fades this week?
Bizarre. So strange.
There's no way this continues. Like, we're just going to fade them. They're due to trip up. They're due to lose.
I don't even know they're playing this
Army's
week.
playing UAB as 25.5-point favorites.
They're not losing that game.
25.
Who's BYU playing?
BYU is at home against Arizona as 4.5-point favorites.
They could lose that game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
But BYU is at home, though, so tough place to play. Provo's not easy.
Okay.
It's be a rocking environment.
Well, good. We'll have to talk more about that as the week goes on. That's
Friday
good.
night, UNLV is laying 19 on the road at Utah State after their loss to Syracuse. Barry Odom, the coach of UNLV, is 14-5 ATS as the head coach of the Rebels. It's the best ATS mark since at least 1990, which is really of all time.
Oh, my.
I mean, I know Boise just beat them by 30, but that was at home. Is UNLV going up to Utah State and just pounding them?
I think they're going to rank their own score.
Okay.
Gambling expression, meaning
pissed off,
they're
mad,
going to all of the above. But I think watching the offense play against a bad defense or a below average defense, they're going to score 40.
Yeah. I mean, if Boise scored 60 running the ball, you got to figure that that's going to be a similar score.
Right.
UNLV is going to have a similar type of score.
I don't know if they're going to put up a 60 burger, but I think they're going to get 40 plus, ideally. Well, that should be enough. Listen, it's style points now. Like that one.
Fair.
If you're right, like we
Fair.
got to win now. We got to win, and we can't let a team hang around in a game. We just it's a perfect coaching moment.
Yeah,
like what happened against Syracuse. Don't let the refs decide it.
Yeah.
Don't let them hang around and have an opportunity. Let's get up 20, and then hit the gas even more and be up 30. Then you can do all the celebrations.
Well, like Joe Rigo said to us, the go-go offense plan is to score 50 a night.
Every night.
That's their game. That's their goal, score 50. They probably get to 50. Maybe team total UNLV over in that game. Then finally, before we let you guys go on the replay, Tennessee did not cover last week in the first half against Arkansas. In fact, they lost the first half and the game, got beat 19-14 overall. They're laying more this week, 7.5 against Florida, but Josh Heupel laying 7 or more in the first half. He's 29-9-2 ATS. Tennessee bounces back this week against Florida. Talk about a pissed off team. Tennessee's mad.
You would think so, right?
Florida's bad.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm back on this.
Ever remember anybody ever saying that other than us? Now I hear it on different shows, and
really?
I'm like, oh yeah. I never heard anybody double it up like mad, bad. Different.
Well,
I thought we kind of
robbery.
started doing that.
That's ours.
I thought so, but apparently it's all over the place now, which not surprising.
Sure.
We'll finish the discussion on the other side. Get us out of here.
I like Tennessee. Lay it. Bounce back for the Vols. Guys on replay, thank you for watching or listening on SiriusXM or Sports Grid TV. If you were with us live, do not move because bonus time starts right now.
Wow. So Florida has won 2 in a row. Thanks, Dave. Daily Picks.
Yeah, who cares?
Napier getting canned Sunday morning. AOWN. Wow.
Yeah. I think Tennessee is going to beat the shit out of them. I think Tennessee is going to take out all the frustration that they had at that loss in Arkansas. They scored 14 points against Arkansas. Heupel scored 14 points. They're furious. Well,
now that we're in bonus time, we can say how we really feel. I like that.
Is that the worst 4 team last 10 years? Probably. Yeah. This is probably the worst 4 team last 10 years. Yeah. I mean, Miami beat the fuck out of them. Tennessee's going to kill them. They're going to kill them. Yes, I agree. Put a 50 burger on deck for them. Yeah. Rub it in. Style points.
I would think so.
Yeah, this is a rivalry. There's the 3rd Saturday in October, which is next weekend for Alabama, Tennessee. That is the historic one. But Florida, Tennessee has got as much juice, if not more, in terms of just blood hatred. Florida, Tennessee is apples and oranges.
Tennessee play next week?
Alabama, right?
Is that next week or the week after?
3rd Saturday in October is next weekend, isn't it? Let me see. That would be the 19th. That's they play Bama.
They play Bama.
3rd Saturday in October. Yeah, they kill them this weekend. This is a tune-up to get ready for Bama. Take it out on Florida and then go play Florida and go play Bama.
Oh boy.
No one is looking ahead. One's looking positive. They just lost to Arkansas.
I know.
This is Florida. This is like, we'll worry about Bama later. We got Florida to take care of. I'm glad that they lost to Arkansas if you're going to bet heavy in this game because, go ahead. Play Graham Mertz, please. go right ahead. I love when when Florida plays Graham Mertz. It's perfect. It's automatic fade. Auto fire against Graham Mertz. Yes, they do a tough record in Gainesville. That's true. Don't care. They lost that first game. They're pissed. It's like Bama this week.
Right.
Bama's pissed off. They're furious. Bama, since 2017, after a loss, they're 5-2 ATS. But South Carolina is 3-3 straight up against Bama since 2001. I was there on the field for one of these losses when Dennis Franchione lost to South Carolina. Almost lost my life. Seriously, students went at him. They came after Franchione afterwards.
My goodness.
Gamecock kids weren't fucking around. They were pissed off. It was huge. First time 30 years, I think it was South Carolina beat Alabama.
There's some big games this week in the SEC. This is definitely one of them as far as setting up for what's happening next. Is it lay it? Like with Tennessee, you lay it, and then Bama, you lay it? This point spread's the same as it was in Vandy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bet the same thing I bet last week. It burned me, but I think it's first half. I think it's first half with Tennessee and Bama. 21.5 is too many points. I don't want to get involved with 21.5 points with Bama. because South Carolina can score. Bama's defense, if you listen to what we talked about Demetri, Bama's defense is scary. It's scary. They're not that good defensively.
Scary bad. Yeah, not scary good.
No, scary bad. Like scary to lay points with. Scary to lay 3 touchdowns with.
Right.
Like that's a lot of points. We'll talk LSU Ole Miss coming up, Marcella. Don't you worry. We got that game. We don't have trends to talk about with LSU Ole Miss, but we'll get to those games. There are trends.
Are we going to talk about that game?
Hell yeah, we are.
Why?
2 top 20 teams going at it. It's a massive game. It's a playoff eliminator in some ways. If Ole Miss loses, they're out. Ole Miss can't lose again. Ole Miss can have 1 loss. Can't have 2. Not to LSU. No.
Miss. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that
I
don't know. I mean, the way this series is going, like a 2-team SEC, 2-loss SEC team is getting in. Now, after talking to Demetri, maybe 2 of them will.
Jesus, could you imagine 2?
I can't imagine
2-loss SEC schools getting the playoffs. You have a lot of mad Big 12 people if that happens. Like a lot of mad Big 12 people. That's oh my God. If you put a 2-loss SEC school in over a 1-loss Big 12, like runner-up type situation, good luck. Good luck. That's going to be bad. People are going to be furious. Can you imagine like Dave's Daily Picture said, don't leave my Hoosiers out. Could you imagine like a 1-loss Indiana team gets left out?
Yeah. I can.
You're going to have a lot
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's bullshit, but can I see it? Of course.
Yeah, like a 1-loss Kansas State team.
No shot. Nothing personal. If you like K-State, I'm not coming at you. I'm telling you the truth.
Could you imagine?
It's the fucking truth.
It might be the truth, but you're going to get people who are going to be really pissed off.
People are pissed off about so many things.
Yeah, but the Big 12 can yank. The Big 12 is part of this ecosystem. Like they've
Is
got.
it?
Yeah,
After
I mean,
what we just talked to Demetri about in his article and stuff, is it?
It is. I mean, because ESPN's
isn't.
got a lot of money. I mean, yes, it's SEC Big 10. They've got the hold on the playoffs, but the Big 12 and the ACC are still relevant. Like they still have clout. They still have money.
So.
I mean, they're both the 2 best basketball conferences in the country. I mean, I guess I probably with Big 10 over the ACC right now, but historically, ACC is one of the top 2 basketball conferences in the country. It's going to be wild.
Absolutely, they are.
But I mean, that's a lot of pissed off people in that part of the country that say, wait. You're only taking our champion and we have a 1-loss team sitting there. Like Miami gets in and nobody else from the ACC or the winner of the Big 12, say it's, I don't know, Iowa State, they get in, but be it BYU, a 1-loss BYU team gets left out.
What I mean, expanding the playoff, I don't know if that's better or worse and different. I don't know. I mean, we got more teams. There's still more arguments. Nobody's ever going to be happy till we let everybody in, which we don't need to do that.
I agree. Too many. Time for better. All right, just a quick one here today. Just one. I am on a plus 132 ticket for the Lynx. I bet them if they were down 1 game to none to none. So I'm going to try to bet both to hit them both. I'm going to take the Sun at plus 4.5 here, and hopefully the Lynx win by 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Is this an elimination game?
Game 5 tonight
at the Lynx.
At the Lynx, yep, at Minnesota.
Winner plays the Liberty.
Correct in the finals.
Championship.
I've thought the Lynx were the best team all year. I thought Lynx and Liberty were going to match up. It makes a lot of sense, but the Sun played really well in their last game, and the Lynx need offensive help. So the Sun shoot the ball.
You're sitting on a plus 132 ticket.
Money line, yeah.
Lynx. So why wouldn't you take the money line and just lock up profit? You're going to go for the middle.
Yeah, get creative. I'm taking a shot. I'm taking a shot
in game.
Taking a shot. Oh, I hope. What I hope is that the Lynx get up by like 10 at some point.
Well, that's
and then I can come back and take the Sun.
Plus, yeah, I'd rather do that.
Yeah, but I want to do
a pregame bet. But
I go back and forth. I'm going to play off of it. I'm going to go have like 3 or 4 bets in this because it's basketball. So I'm probably going to have a bunch of different bets. No,
you say off 3 or 4 bets. I'd have 30 or 40 bets.
Okay.
Like if I'm sitting in a position like this, and listen, I got the crazy sickness too.
That's you.
I got a screw loose. Yeah, right. I'd be like, look, Jess, I got to go watch the basketball game. Why can't you watch it at home? Because you're going to be bothering me. Like I'm going to work. I'm going to load up the account. Or in the old days, I had to run up to the counter every break, make 10 bets, this, that, whatever. Go walk in with an envelope and just start firing. silly. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying this is when you already have a position that's a plus before the game's played, you can create a mountain of different positions. Good luck with this one. I'll say this is I'll book this one at 4.5. I think you'll get better.
Mhm.
I think the Lynx win and cover.
I'll be on. I mean, I'm good with either way. Sun can shoot. It's all going to come down to the Sun shooting. If they shoot like they shot in game 4, now they were at home. This is the road, but they shoot like that. I don't mind the over either. It's 151.5, but I hate betting overs on elimination games. They just slow it down so much when it's a game that every possession matters for the season. I get nervous about betting overs. It's not. I really try to. I bet unders in elimination game way more. 151.5 is really low. It's a low total for the game, but I can't bet it for that. Favorite thing about today is what?
2 things. 1, you really never know what anyone's going through. Just keep that in mind as people prepare and are leaving Florida.
Oh, fuck.
It sounds like it's going to be a real mess. And we've had people in here that, just had it happen and wherever you guys live 10 days ago in different places, still without power. I had a couple conversations this morning with people about this, and it reminded me again, be where your feet are. Thank God you're alive, and just, try to make the best of your day and not be an asshole, because there's people that are fighting through some stuff that you have no idea. Number 2, that goes also for the same, like with the kids, like call people that are in your life, find out what's going on in their life, and just be a person that they can talk and trust to. The other favorite thing about today is that I follow a couple accounts on Twitter and learn different things every day. And I heard this one on Twitter from a guy who I want to have on the show. He's a high school football coach in San Diego, Coach Hines.
Yep.
This is perfect. The way a team plays a game shows some of their character. The way they lose shows all of it.
Fair.
And I went, boy, isn't that true? And then I woke up this morning and the Jets fired the coach and all this other stuff started happening. And I thought, boy, is this the way that you want? Like, are you really going to try to even discuss trading for somebody if you're a player who wants to go? Like, what are you thinking today from the outside going, just lost the game? Like, you're blowing this up today. And then as the stories come out, you're like, okay, really? And the Yankees lost yesterday. The post game from some people was different than the post game from other people. How you lose shows all of your character. It's a very good quote. Favorite thing about today.
2 things for me. 1, it's hockey. Hockey is back. Let's go hockey. I think it's such a fun sport to watch on TV. It's such a fun sport to watch. It's one of the, college football, Madeline's reaction last Friday, I'd never seen her be that into a sporting event since her first Golden Knights game.
Yep.
We saw the Golden Knights. She was like, this is fucking incredible. She was in love with the Golden Knights. But I'd never seen her be that into college football, and she really liked college football to the point where we're going to the game on the 25th against Boise State.
Yes, sir.
She's now all in on going to those games. It's fun. So hockey being back, Bruins being back, Swayman being back is tremendous. I'm on Bruins over on their point total. I think the Stars go over on their point total. Sorry, Calgary. I think you guys are going to suck. I'm on the under point total for the Calgary Flames this year. Do you see what they're doing? They're starting a rookie goaltender for the Calgary. Uh-oh. not good for when you trade away Jacob Markstrom. You're like, yeah, we're going to start a rookie who has like a 3.5 goals against average in the minors. Okay.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
You're tanking. It's what the Flames are doing this year.
By the way, before the show closes, close that poll because I looked down at the poll.
It's tough.
You see that?
Split 50-50. Oh, it just moved. 50. Oh, there we go. 50-49. Ohio State, Oregon.
That is incredible.
Good
That's
number.
A good number. 3 is a good number.
3 is a good number. People are split on both sides on that game. On that. And then I don't know what the Patriots are doing. I love the fact that Drake May is playing, but Drake May is starting against a Texans team that has one of the best blitz rates and pressure rates of any team, any defense in the NFL. And the Patriots have arguably the worst offensive line in the NFL. Of all the weeks to start Drake May, Not sure this would be the one I would pick.
Right?
This is not the week that I want to see Drake May play. Not sure I would say, yeah, the Texans. Let's put him out against the Texans. That sounds like a good idea.
Like,
so
this is Jacoby must be beat up. Right?
I think he's beat up, but I think it's more I think the coaching staff I think Alex Van Pelt is going to lose his job. And I think this is I think Alex Van Pelt has basically said, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down with the quarterback who I know can make a throw. And if he gets lit up, he gets lit up. The one theory is that May can run. So May is going to be running for his life, but he can get out and pick up first downs with his legs. That's the theory. I don't know if that's going to be true. I think Drake May better have life insurance because I think the Texans are going to kill him. I think if you're betting
Jacksonville next week in London or wherever they're playing, like that would be the week to start them, no?
Maybe. Or they figure give him a start because they want to have one start before that game. Get him something, I don't know. I just think it's if I'm going to play Drake May, having him go and play against the Texans is not, I know he's at home. Okay. So it's a home game and you say, all right, start him at home. And then he goes out, but I don't know, man. That's going to be one of those games where if you are playing Survivor, Texans are not losing to the Patriots this weekend. That is still happening.
No.
Patriots. And I can't wait to watch the kid because all this pressure, because look, you may have a rookie MVP. We haven't had a rookie MVP since 1957 when Jim Brown did it. If you were picking an MVP right now, you probably would go ahead and say that Jaden Daniels is the MVP. He's been incredible. That put pressure on the Patriots. Caleb Williams, every week, has gotten progressively better for the Bears. Every week, getting better. Patriots are like, well, we got a guy who we just drafted right behind those two guys. Our guy is number 3 behind those two. Patriot fans are clamoring to see something out of the guy they invested a top 5 draft pick on. I don't know. They call it the plan. The plan. Uh-oh.
Special shout out to Chef Benny who left us a deuce today with a super chat. October 22nd, the Season B's parlay is back. Let's go. Those of you that are new to the show, is the Celtics and the Bruins.
Parlay.
And we parlay them together. The C's and the B's. I thought it was the B's and the C's. I don't know. It's on an F right now. I can't wait to fade that shit.
Careful.
I can't wait for the Celtics season to start because everybody's going to – now you're the favorite. Now
every GM by an overwhelming number picked them to be the 1 seed. Every GM.
Well,
by the way,
to be the 1 seed.
Here's a bet to make if you want it.
What?
Brown to win the MVP.
Here we go.
Brown to win the MVP.
Here we go.
The fuck you tour starts in 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
You know how pissed off he is about not with the Olympic team? You know how mad he is? He is furious at what went on this summer. He's going to make if you want to bet against, look at coaches and players who were on the Olympic team when the Celtics play the Golden State Warriors. Oh my God. Like he's going to go off for 50 against them. I can't wait to watch.
Tatum got a little beef there too, no?
He does too, because he got benched by him too. The two of them want to fucking kill Steve Kerr. I can't wait. Chef Benny, if we run it back, I will be the happiest person on the planet. We run it back.
I kind of will too.
We're not running it back.
Perfectly honest.
We're not running it back. I can't see it. All I know is the Knicks and the Sixers aren't winning it. That's all I know. Other than that, I don't know who wins it, but I don't think it's the Knicks or the Sixers.
I'm very surprised if Boston doesn't win the East.
Oh, it would be a shock. Injuries, probably the only reason why.
Right.
That would probably be the only reason why they wouldn't win it back, because the East is pretty open in terms of it's Boston and everybody else. West is much more complicated and difficult. I still think Denver is the kryptonite to Boston.
That fills the NBA portion of the show, boys and girls. It's the fucking baseball playoffs. Enjoy the game.
Go watch it. Enjoy it. He's Dave. I'm Matt. We're back tomorrow. We'll watch Wednesday with our Alex Kane friends and family from Sport Trade. Should be fun. They're in town, so who the hell knows what's going to happen tomorrow with our guys at Sport Trade for a Wednesday's BVB.